Hey guys, I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that Surewinder is still selling amazing products. Some of you guys have been dragging your feet for whatever reason. If your shoulder hurts, do not waste time. Pull the trigger. I just bought 4 or 5 of them, and we had 2 guys out. You know how much it cost me to pay for 2 guys being out with bad shoulders? We just pulled the trigger and we said, listen, everybody's going to have one on a truck. It's mandatory. You got to use it. Don't hesitate. Don't wait till your guys go down. It's going to cost you more. Buy a Surewinder.
What's up, guys? Ryan here with Torsion Talk Podcast, and Tamara was hot on the spot. I have no clue. Our editor may or may not edit that out because that was pretty special. Tamara is over the moon right now. She actually hit the record button before I even was like, did the countdown. So we're off to a good start. Something special is definitely going to happen on this podcast now. I feel like, right?
Unicorn kind of day.
Day. All right. Well, lots of things are happening. The economy is crap. Our president can't put 2 sentences together. AI is taking over the world, and China balloons are now know everything about us that they didn't already know from our text messages, emails, and the microphones in our pockets. So doom and gloom all over the world. What are we going to do? We're going to rely on IDA to fix all of our problems. So we brought them on the podcast today. Amy and Brenton, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Happy to be here.
So how are you going to fix China's spying balloons? I'm kidding. No, but you guys came on. It's been what, probably a month and a half, 2 months?
Yeah, probably 2 months ago, something like that.
Okay.
3
And
maybe.
I told you guys then, let's try to get you guys on pretty regularly just to give updates. And I think it's important information, and I want to help promote you guys and also give our audience updates on what's going on in the industry from IDA's perspective. So there's a couple key topics that you guys wanted to chat about. I got a couple. So we'll start with the one that you guys were talking about with the voting, the one thing that just got passed. Can you guys elaborate on that?
Yeah. And we talked about it last time we were on the podcast, Ryan. So we had a vote to change the bylaws to allow more members to be involved in the leadership of IDA and the direction that we're going with IDA through volunteership on their committees. Prior to the vote, all of our committees were managed and manned or womaned by directors only. And so we're happy to say that we made a pretty big change, and we had more people vote than we thought was going to vote, and it was overwhelmingly for the change, 10-1 for this change. So yeah,
I would like to give a shout out to all of our listeners for taking action, and everybody in the Garage Door Owners Group. We promoted it there. We put it in our email newsletter, such and such media customers, podcast listeners, GDU members. Thank you so much, because I do feel like that's super helpful for our industry, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's super helpful for our industry. And what happens now though is now is the call to action. So now that everybody's all excited about making changes and being able to help, is we're going to send out a call to action in the next couple of weeks, looking for volunteers, looking for somebody who's like, I have a passion for membership, or I have a passion for marketing, or I have whatever your passion is. I have a passion for training garage door guys, or those types of things. So we're going to be sending that out in the next couple of weeks. Amy, you want to kind of go over what that's going to look like, or what they might expect in their email?
Sure, absolutely. So we're going to outline we have 4 major committees: membership, marketing, communications, education, and events. And then within those committees, we have a couple of task force that we're going to be starting, one similar to Garage Door Safety Month, when that's taking place, that will assist with some promotions there, as well as anybody that wants to get involved with IDEA and the certification program. We're going to include that as well. Member benefits, just general marketing, a whole bunch of everything. If you want to help plan expo, there'll be a task group for that. Basically, we want to hear from our members, and the more people that can get involved, the stronger the association can be together. So we're excited form will come out and the board will be able to review those. Obviously, we're going to put a limit on it, so we're not going to have gigantic committees, but we would like to focus between that 10 and 15 range. Board member would still be the chair of the committee, so they can report back to the board with any suggestions and updates that we might come up with in the committee. So there's that line of communication, so that the committee is not just doing work just to be heard, but it's something we can get accomplished and put on the action items for the year.
Very nice. Do you guys use like a project management software to organize all that?
We will have a project management software. We use smart sheets that we'll be using internally here and on our operations side. And then on the board side, we just came up with our action plan. So it will be built into our action plan for each of those committees.
Yeah, so we put together, coming out of our strategic planning we did in January, we kind of put together like a roadmap of where we think we want to go. Like we need to be over there. And these committees are going to be, they're going to be figuring out how to get us over there, and the best way to get over there.
Listen, Amy, if this doesn't work out, call me. I would love to.
Hey, now. You just barely got her. You can't have her.
Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. No, but so all good things. Like if I'm listening to this podcast, I'm sitting there thinking, man, I love my industry. I love the people of the industry. I want to help, but I'm like stretched and things are crazy right now. Like how much of a commitment would this be, and what does that look like?
Absolutely. So we will be meeting mostly Zoom meetings. Most of the committees meet monthly, some meet every 6 weeks. And then we'll also be meeting in person during our either Educon events or Expo, depending on what takes place. So there won't be a lot of travel involved, except for those 2 in-person meetings for the most part.
And there's task force, kind of specific task force. So like if we have the Expo committee or events committee that's putting together events, there's going to be task force assigned that are going to be doing, call it individual items. Like maybe somebody goes out and scopes out a location for us with some of the staff members, or maybe someone sources speaker topics or ideas, or works in a small group to put together what the session topics we want to look for are.
Speaking topics.
Speaking topics, yes.
Or you could have somebody in charge of that and then just tell me who it is so I can manipulate them.
Yes. I think we have our first volunteer. Can you send him the form?
I'm a volunteer by proxy, so like someone else can do it. I just want to tell
hear
them.
that he just volunteered
Yeah.
for something.
Yes,
For
yes.
volunteers, still the same thing.
We'll be in touch with Tamara. Yeah.
So in short, it's going to be kind of like as much as you want it to be. It could be an hour or 2 a month, and if you decide to be on a subcommittee as well, it's
really
very
good. And plus, I could easily manipulate your answers.
Whatever. You have so little faith in me.
No, I'm saying like I think you actually would do really well at that.
I was thinking that I should apply.
I also feel like I could probably
End my ear a little.
in your ear a little and be like, what about this topic? You should probably put this out there.
Well, and it doesn't have to be
off. I'll trade you a day off for throwing this topic in. No, I'm just kidding.
And it doesn't have to be, the voting member, the primary representative of the company. It can be anyone in the company. If there's someone on your marketing team that wants to be involved, then that's where their specialty is. Bring them on. That's kind of what we're looking for.
Cool.
Wonder if we can get all of the spots between.
And then he just takes it a little too far, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna try to limit it.
Over. All right. So we also have another subject that's super important, and I'm gonna kind of skip one that you guys talked about in the middle and go straight to Florida. Can you explain what's happening in Florida and how that's affecting door companies?
Yeah, so effectively what happened is last year, historically speaking, in Florida, garage door companies received their licensing to be able to be a licensed subcontractor by the county. So that was regulated by each individual county. So there's, I don't know how many counties in Florida, 30 of them or something like that. So there were 30 different standards of what you needed to do and have to be able to be a garage door company, and was managed at the county level. So the state last year passed a bill that basically said, we're going to take over these standards and licensing requirements. And if we are regulating it, the county can no longer regulate it. So basically they said, sorry, county, we're going to take this away from you guys and we're going to regulate it at the state level. We're going to make it consistent and other things like that. But what they did was they didn't really realize how big of an impact that would have on
Government.
a number of subcontractors, garage door guys included in that. And so all of a sudden, all of the garage door companies now, if they don't fix the bill and fix the law, have to be actual general contractors, not just a specialty license for overhead doors, which is what they've had at the county level. So we've received a number of inquiries and have been involved a little bit. We pushed against this about a year ago and nobody else kind of wanted to get involved, and it's come back around. But basically people saying, hey, we're either going to go out of business, or they don't have the testing even done for us to get the license that the state says we now have to have, and a bunch of other things like that. So we're getting involved to try and figure out, one, what is the best way to do this? And me personally, I think it is a state license that is consistent throughout the state, has reciprocity throughout the state, because that's kind of the way it's done in the past. Was if you're licensed in one county, you can only work in that county. If you want to go work in another county, you have to get a different license. In another county, you have to get a different license, and they don't all have the same requirements. So, we're looking at getting it to where there's a correct license with the correct requirements, and it's at a state level, and it has reciprocity across the whole state, so that there's kind of like a minimum standard of excellency in our industry in that state. But in the meantime, we just got to get them to fix it, because come June, we're going to have everybody that's either breaking the law or going out of business, and that's not good for anybody.
Change your name to Undercover Garage Doors.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Fly by night.
Yeah, funny thing, a lot of people like, not to go too deep into details, but I was hanging out with a friend of mine who works for a law firm, and Brenton, some of my challenges, but like the term overhead door, he was like, we were talking about intellectual property and overhead door, and he's like, he said, you could really get away with doing like over the cranial apparatus. And I was like, what, dude? He's like, yeah, you should change the name to over cranial apparatus and then patent that. But I thought it was funny, instead of overhead door, over cranial. Yeah, anyway,
buy that domain.
I thought it was hilarious, but maybe you just need to know the whole story. I don't know. We won't go into that today.
That battle has been fought on many fronts.
Yeah. So on the other hand, we have an event coming up, Educon in Louisville, Kentucky. And I don't know what to expect. So I'd like to hear from you guys. Like, do you guys have a bunch of people already signed up? I'm hearing a lot of buzz from people wanting to attend. I think Louisville is almost like the perfect location, because you can pull people from Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Ohio, Michigan, Kentucky. Like, it's kind of centrally Virginia. It's very well located. Amy, you're smiling. I'm imagining that's her idea. I don't know, maybe. But very smart location, by the way, Amy. I don't know if that was yours or not.
Can't take credit for that one.
Whose was it?
It was a group effort from the committees.
Yeah.
Well, good job. I do think that is a wonderful location. Louisville's a great town. I got photos I can show y'all. I got to sneak out onto the racetrack and take photos.
Oh, cool.
And then they leave everything unlocked. And then I got to sneak out on the Louisville football field and take pictures at the 50-yard line until I was asked to leave from the loudspeaker.
Not
so,
different.
yeah, I mean, it's great. They just leave everything unlocked. Plus, it's the home of Papa John's.
Mm.
Fun fact.
I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
So I'm not allowed to go back, but I'm just kidding. So how's it looking for attendance? You guys have everybody signed up yet?
Well, we've only been open for 3 weeks, and we are ahead of where we were at this point in fall. So that's great. We have almost all of our booths, I believe, are committed at this point. So we will have a full show floor,
That's
which we're
excellent.
excited about. We also will have IDEA will be there as well with our registration and some of our other vendors. So we're looking forward. And I hear you guys might make an appearance as well. So we
Yeah, we're trying to finalize doing a podcast live.
That'd
We'd
be
like to do it
awesome.
live. Sometimes at these events, the internet's a little spotty, so it's hard to do live. But we love doing live podcasts at events. So we're going to try to set that up and just bring a bunch of people on and talk about the event and introduce a bunch of people. So if you want to get on the podcast, and that would be a great way to do it. Jump on for 15, 20 minutes, talk about your business, check out the vendor booths, hang out with other door companies. So we'd love to, you know, if you guys see us there, make sure to stop. We're going to be looking for people to bring on. No one wants to see me sitting at the IDA Educon just talking by myself. So we're going to need to have a bunch of people come on.
I
Yeah,
think it's going to be great having, you know, trying to do a live podcast or even just live interviews if you're not able to do it, you know, at the opening party, because the opening party is going to be on the show floor. So all the vendors that are got booths and stuff, they're going to set up their booths. And then I believe it's Thursday evening. We're going to have the opening party, and it'll be with the vendors and the attendees, anybody that's, you know, going to be there all together. And it's kind of like a little show opener and drinks and appetizers. And it was really
liquored up so we can
yeah,
get a show and do it
we'll get
live.
it liquored up so they'll tell the truth on your podcast, right?
We
Really
need to
feel.
implement the question. What is something no one knows about you? We'll get some good-
You'll have to find out at the opening party.
right.
All right.
And
So
then just to touch on that too, we're also going to be giving out the Technician of the Year award at that event too. And
Yep.
that's where the changeover will happen for our board as well. So we'll be welcoming Wes Perry as our new president during that time too.
very nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Wes Perry. And congratulations to whoever the Tech of the Year is, which I guess we won't know until that day, right?
Nope.
You won't know until then. Yeah.
Very nice.
Maybe there could be an announcement.
Somebody's on the fence about attending. Usually it's just uncertainty, right? So like, can you give us a scope of what this is going to look like? Some of the popular sessions that you think might be speaking on or whatever. What are you guys thinking? Like, what's the draw? What's the pull? Other than obviously Torsion Talk podcast, you can get on the show live. Other than that, like what are some things that people are going to be able to do or hear or learn while they're there?
Sure. Well, our full schedule is on our website, doors.org, with all of our speaker bios on there too. So if anybody wants to check out in more detail, there are a couple things we're bringing back from fall because they had really good reviews. The 2-day commercial rolling and rolling steel door school will be happening, as well as we have. I'm trying to think of the best way to say it, but what Byron's speaking on. Brenton, did you hear him speak last time?
Yeah. So
It's more of
we're basically overall, we're trying to make it so that you can come and there'll be something for whatever part of the business that you deal with. So
correct.
if say I go and I bring my office manager and 2 sales guys and some technicians, whatever, you know, it's local, so it's not too far to go. I can put my technicians in the 2-day school, or they can do other IDEA testing while they're there. There's a presentation on recruiting and recruiting and maintaining employees. There's Byron's presentation, which is on pricing strategies and managing pricing. He kind of modified it. It was kind of like pricing in COVID, but now it's kind of being like pricing and planning as we go into a potential recession and how to kind of manage that a little bit. So if you listened to Byron's either when we were in New Orleans, he's modified that. So it's kind of a little bit more pertinent to the current time. And he made some changes there. We're going to have kind of just a motivational kind of keynote to open things up, stuff like that. So there should be a little bit for each individual person on managing your business, growing your business, you know, helping find employees, other things like that. And basically the feedback that we got coming out of New Orleans was, this is great. You guys need to do more of this stuff. You know, we understand technicians need to learn and we need to figure out how to read P&Ls and other things like that. But we want you to teach us how grow our business, or how to be excited about business, or other things like that. So that's why we maintained some of the speakers from New Orleans and got a couple others, and basically taking everything that we learned in New Orleans and moving it, and kind of always trying to make it a little bit better. We adjusted the show floor a little bit, we adjusted the timeframes a little bit and stuff like that, so that we're maximizing the amount of time that our members or non-members that want to attend, they got to pay more, but want to attend, can gain from this.
Then we did virtual door dealer conference. One of the top things people liked was roundtables. I've never seen like IDA do roundtables before, but those are awesome. Something that you guys might want to try out. But people love talking to other dealers and getting ideas, and that's the whole premise of what GDU was launched on, was the feedback we got from virtual door dealer conference, and being able to find out, oh, I'm not the only one that deals with this. Everybody else is dealing with it too. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with it? And then you get to go back with a plan, and that other people have done it and it worked, and it saves you tons of pain and heartache of trying to figure it out yourself or trial and error. So that roundtable discussions, I think, are super valuable.
That's a great idea. Yeah, it really, and gives you a resource too. If you go back, somebody that you met might be able to provide you with that answer for the challenge that you're dealing with. That's a great idea.
And it forces all of us to talk to each other too.
It does.
Because it's so awkward when you go in there. It's like an 8th grade dance with all boys
standing against the wall.
Yeah, everybody's on the outskirts.
Yeah.
Kind of a side note, that's when we had to cancel Expo in New Orleans during COVID. We were trying to figure out okay, what is the most important thing to our members? Is it the show? Do they want us to visit with the vendors? Is it the parties? Is it, being able to network and get together with people that you only see and everything like that? And by far, the being able to be in person with other people in our industry was the biggest part of it. I mean, they want to see the show and they want to talk to their vendors, and it's a time for that. But that's, they want to be together with their friends. That's the biggest part. They want to be together with their friends. They want to talk to guys. They want to network, do roundtables, other things like that.
Consistency in everything, including price, reliability, quality, not just quality, but great quality control. These are things that describe Somer USA. Somer's not some startup company, not one that you need to be worried about going out of business in the near future. Somer and their family of businesses are $200 million companies. They're in over 100 countries, and they have locations in 20 countries. This is a large organization who stands behind their product and works through integrity. And there's not another company out there willing to drop what they're doing and help you out like Somer. These guys are awesome. Not only have they been loyal to the Torsion Talk podcast, they've been loyal to the technicians and the owners of the companies who install their product. In my opinion, if you're not at least offering Somer as an additional option, you're cheating yourself. Listen, first-time dealers, I've got a special for you. If you buy 10 or more Somers, while supplies last, we will offer you free shipping. You have no more excuses. The prices are great. The product is amazing. Go check out Somer USA and order 10 for free shipping.
It's so funny, I came from a white collar background, and you would think blue collar guys are tough and rough and I want to go sit in my chair and drink a beer and watch, whatever, right? Cheers or whatever. But these guys, door guys, love the idea of getting pedicures together. This is and you never would imagine that would be a thing coming from outside the industry.
Is that the new scholarship? The scholarship are outing is we're going to get mani pedis.
100%. These guys are
maybe in the fall, but this year we're actually going to be at the Fraser, Kentucky History Museum and doing some bourbon tasting. So that's an
Fun.
option for Friday
Everybody's-
night fundraising event. So anybody can attend
Everybody's
that as
going to
well.
get a sweet, takeaway from that. The IDA specific takeaway. You got to show up to get it.
Is it an NFT?
No.
You make it an NFT.
Yeah, we
I can
know
do that
some
for you.
bourbon drinkers in our group for sure.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a big win. My liver's just not happy with me from all the previous years, so I've had to cut back on drinking like 99.9%. So
It's a tasting. So it's a tasting, not a drinking. It's a
yeah,
tasting.
like I could
Tell
probably
your liver that. It's just a tasting.
it just doesn't do me right anymore. I don't know. My liver is like we're on overload, trying to recover from the last 20 years. So we're gonna back off.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's gonna be a good time though. We're hoping to have, a couple hundred people that get together and get the things that they need for their business, for their networking, for meeting some vendors, all the things.
Yeah, we are running a promotion too. So if you're not a member of IDA, but you want to come, there's actually a package deal. So you can join and also get a little bit of a reduced membership dues for the rest of 2023. So if you have anybody that's interested in checking us out, they can come and it is, but you come check us out and then receive all the member benefits for the rest of the year too.
What is the what's the membership price now?
The deal is $600 and that would get your registration and membership dues.
And that's the deal or that's the total?
That's the deal. Flat.
Okay, what is the
Yeah. So the total membership right now, the minimum membership for IDA is $375. And it's based on revenue of the company. So it's either $375, $475, or $575. With the highest tier being, focused on people that are, 5 million in revenue and over.
Yeah.
And that comes with, unlimited additional locations. So you don't have to pay for extra locations and other things like that. And so, but it's all based on revenue because we wanted to, not price out somebody that's on they'll call it the lower spectrum on revenue. We want them they actually probably get the most benefit.
Yeah.
So we want to make it good for them. And then the guys that have more locations or more revenue, larger companies pay a little bit more, but they get other things that they used to have to pay for with that. So we kind of streamlined it a little bit.
Awesome. So let's talk about, have there been any new developments on the Google spam front?
Yes, actually just yesterday, a investigative reporter from NBC Los Angeles reached out to Tom Wadsworth because she knew Tom. And then Tom referred her to me and I spoke with her for about an hour yesterday for this same thing. She wasn't calling specifically about garage door scams and the Google, local service ads and other things like that. But during the course of the conversation, we figured out that that's exactly what it was. And there was sadly, an old lady in Orange County that paid like $9,000 for springs, an operator, and a service. Yeah, it was ridiculous. So we've talked with her and put her in touch with a couple of people there. Byron, who's a director for IDAs in Orange County and a victim of that. And so we put her in touch with a couple of people and made her aware of that. Also, what is it?
Or is she just local to Los Angeles?
She is just local to Los Angeles, but she's with NBC. And then also a reporter from out of Florida from CBS. Same thing. Yep, local service ads. We're actually hoping that guy will be in Louisville doing in-person interviews, of people that are either affected by spam or, all the different names of what you can call the things that happen online. So we're trying to get him to come to Louisville to actually do in-person interviews and trying to get a little bit more national attention for what's going on right now.
I think that, have you guys created a committee for this yet?
IDA doesn't have a specific committee, but there is an industry task force that involves, I'm on it, Amy's on it. There's a couple of guys from the Precision Group that are on it.
Just Jason and
Mike Brickner is on it.
Mike's still in the door game? They got
what?
acquired, right? Is he still working for Precision?
Yeah, he's still doing stuff for Precision. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what his ownership or other things like that are, but he's still working for Precision doing stuff for the franchise as a whole.
Okay.
And then Ben, the
Fisher.
advisor, Ben Fisher is a
Jason
part of that
Brown.
group. And then Dasma has the Dasma marketing girl is on that group. I can't remember her name right now. So we got somebody from Dasma that's a part of it as well. But I think we're going to start, if we can get some traction, we'll start branching out that group to get a little bit more involvement, because it seems like
I would like to be
locally
part
it
of that.
works, but nationally it's like we're not getting a lot of traction.
I can help with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can
think
help
that's
with the
great.
getting the national attract. So I've got a couple ideas.
So
But
the reporter based out of Tampa is ready to interview anyone that's willing to go on camera. So he's been
Yep.
speaking with a couple of our members independently, but being able to really go on camera and tell the stories what he's looking for. So if there's anyone that's interested in doing that, they can reach out to me and we can connect you with that reporter for sure.
Brenton,
Yeah. No. This is
top.
you're this direction.
No, I'm down. I think that it's time that but we need to get, it needs to be coordinated, and there needs to be a lot of dealers. It can't just be one.
Yeah.
We got to get a lot of people involved. So I actually recorded a video the other day, exposing a bunch of spam and how to recognize it. And I had this post all typed up, and I was about to click the button. And for some reason, dude, I just felt like I needed to delete it.
Just
You
hold
have,
on for a little bit.
huh?
Just hold on to it for just a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was a mixture of like timing, but also like, you know, you got to be ready, which I've got the forces. You know, I got people that are probably as good or better than the ones that would come after me, but you know, they have developers, they got programmers, they got hackers on their side. And so when you do that, this is why it probably needs to be done like a big, you guys are going to have to be careful sticking people in front of a camera and letting one person be the guy.
All guy, yeah.
because
It has
Yeah.
to be done on
They're
mass.
going to bring
Yeah.
full force against that person, right?
Sure.
I
Right.
can probably handle it because I
And
got
on
I'm friends with people who are hackers. I can get my crew
Well,
involved.
and
We'll just
I
do a battle.
And I think that's been the challenge, you know, because obviously it's a lot of the smaller companies that seem to be impacted the most, and they obviously don't want to lose any more business. So there's that fine line of how to stand up for what's right, but also trying to protect your business and your livelihood.
You need a bunch, and I think we can coordinate that. You know, yesterday
We need a bunch, and we need them to not be all in one place. You know,
Right.
Spread
we
out
need,
everywhere.
we need somebody from, and we've seen this, and it's literally no less than organized crime. That's
Yes.
really what it is. I mean, but you know, we've seen it in Florida. Obviously, I think you guys said that you've had it there, or even been a victim of it. We have reports, and somebody who actually came forward, who was one of the technicians kind of down the food chain on this, that's out of Chicago. That NBC reporter is out of Southern California, you know. And so we need it in more than one place. We need more people to come forward and say, here's my story, here's what it is. And so we can compile that and then be like, here it is on a silver platter. And they can't just pick on one person and ruin one person's online business.
I can get on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Life goal.
do it.
No, I
I
can't.
love Joe Rogan.
But I can get on there and we can talk about this because
Yeah.
it's not just our industry. There's
Oh, yeah.
foreign entities infiltrating corporations and businesses. This is coming from different angles. You have the ground game, like what's happening in the garage door industry, but you also have a lot of companies who are controlled by other countries who are like private equity firms buying up whole industries, you know. And so you have this whole like thing happening right now where America is made up of Americans who come from many different countries, but were starting to be controlled by outside entities, our farmland, our businesses, everything. And
Medicine,
I
yeah.
keep track of all that. I'm not like a doomsday prepper or anything. But I watch the economy every single day. I study the economy. I study stocks. I study financials. I watch when they release the CPI and all this stuff. And it led me down this path. And then also being a garage door company, you see this and you start talking to other people, and it's kind of happened in their industries. And so you have these groups of people who come in. We need to probably get the guy we talked to yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Derek?
No, I don't want to say his name. No, it
Oh.
wasn't.
Oh, that guy. Yes. Yes. That guy.
It really wasn't Derek, y'all. Derek
No,
was
it wasn't
the guy.
Derek.
This guy is a garage door business owner, and he literally set up a sting operation and recorded calling these people and got it all on video and literally paid them to do the service and everything. He's in the door industry and he's got the video footage.
We're talking about doing that right now in Southern California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we just do it all over the country. I think we just, and then because the thing is that they're everywhere. And in order to be able to really bust the case open, you have to figure it out. But there's like this guy that we talked to the other day, like Let's Catch a Predator.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yes, exactly like that. Yeah. So what I knew and what this guy the other day confirmed is there's multiple layers, right? And there's the guys on the ground are literally buying leads from these basically a marketing company,
Right. Call center somewhere
that has a call center, right? And there's some overseas and some here. This guy said that he actually talked to one of the technicians, and the guy spilled the beans and was talking about how it's a whole group of Israelis, but the main operation all boils down to one guy who's in Bulgaria. And so he was like, this is how this whole operation works, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I set up a sting and I got this video and I got all this evidence, but he's got it all. Right. And he talked to one of their employees who kind of spilled the beans, or their contractors who spilled the beans on this whole thing. So the guys on the ground, you're not going to get anywhere with them because I don't think they really truly know a whole lot, but the next level up is where you got to get.
Yeah, I think the guys on the ground, and it's the same way. We've got a guy that came forward because he, had a crisis of conscience on what he was doing and stuff like that. And he's just a guy, he's just a peon in the system that they put together. But that's what I think is, if you catch the guy on the ground, that's reactive. He's gonna. The police are probably not going to do anything. Right. The agencies that are in charge of, call it policing or regulating our industry or that type of a situation, are not going to do anything at that level. Plus, if you do something at that level, 5 minutes later, he's going to be like, instead of ABC garage door service, he's going to be CDE garage door service, and buying the same leads and doing the exact same thing a week later. So yeah, I agree. If we're going to do something, it has to be, again, on that national level, large scale, coordinated, do the sting operation in 5 different cities on the same day, type of whatever. But get somebody that could get us information on what's 1 or 2 steps up the food chain. And our industry is particularly susceptible to it because it has kind of the standards to get into our industry are, 1, inconsistent everywhere, unenforced most places that there is any kind of enforcement, and it's easy to buy parts. It's not a hard trade to learn. It's a hard trade to master and be good at and build a business in and stuff, but it's not a hard trade to learn how to scam people in.
And it's very similar to locksmith, which is why all these people do locksmith and garage doors.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Gains you access to someone's home.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it's nuts. Well, is there anything else that you guys want to announce? Any secrets that you haven't shared yet that you would like to let our audience in on?
Man.
Yeah, boy, we're gonna give all the secrets at the podcast party
Live.
in
Yeah.
Louisville live.
Fair.
No, no, just that we continue to make changes. You know, I'm coming to the end of my term as president, and I'll move into past president. But I'm going to continue to push to make the changes that are needed to keep our industry and IDA relevant.
Why don't we rewrite the laws and have a vote on it that you get to extend your kingdom?
So my wife would be like, no.
Fair enough.
She's like, so do I gain back the 20 hours a week you spend doing that and on phone calls? I was like, oh no, I got to put that back into the business that's been suffering for 2 years. So,
he's not going to be on the board, but he's going to chair every committee that we're now starting with the new group.
That's exactly. I'm going to be the committee cheerleader forever.
There you go.
Yeah. So, but I can't stress enough. We want feedback. And some people say that we haven't, and we stuck our head in the sand in the past couple of years, and that we kind of siloed ourselves over here and stuff like that. And I am continuing, even as past president, to try and break down those walls and say, if you want something different, then let's do it. And this volunteer thing is not the first step, but a big step in that direction.
And when is that call to action email coming out?
Should be about 2 weeks. I can shoot you a text or email when we're ready to send that out. Yeah.
You can have it by not this coming Tuesday, but the next Tuesday. We can include it with our notes and posts.
Yeah.
There we go.
Great.
Action item on the time frame.
Yeah, or anybody that's interested can always email me, amy@doors.org. It's the simplest email out there. If you're interested, I'll put you in my list, and once it's launched, we can communicate that too.
Okay. And then what other feedback have you received that you guys are working on?
We are working on continuing education. That continues to be a big feedback from dealers is we don't know where to get education. And if we do get it, it's not specific to our industry outside of IDEA.
What about David Mount?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So David Mount was an IDA, actually appointed David Mount to the IDEA board. And so we're in talks. I don't know if we've reached out to him now, but Melissa, who's on one of the directors, actually had David come down and do a training at her facility and said it was awesome.
Dude,
and so he's also one of our presenters for the fire marshal's course that I think we are
Saturday. Yep.
Yeah, on Saturday in Louisville, we're doing the fire marshal's training course, and David is, I think, going to be one of the presenters there. At least he was. So continuing education, industry specific education is probably the biggest thing that we hear that people want. And then
I can't get enough of David Mount.
Yeah,
I'm serious. If you guys promoted him and he's trying to grow that side of his business, I've already had the conversation with him. He's going to have to do some like AI carbon copy, something, book himself out too far soon. But I genuinely believe that he's the answer to a lot of problems when it comes to training. We've had him here. We fly people up. And every single time, dude, our guys always come away with more confidence, better understanding, and better prepared in the field. So I'm a cheerleader of his, and he's great for our industry. So I don't know anybody else like him in our industry that does what he does at that level.
Yeah, and that's the hard part is David is one guy and he's awesome. I actually have it on one of my items that I need to do is to reach out to him about flying him out to our business in California and do it.
You want me to call him real quick? I'm just kidding.
Podcast. But yeah, how do we help him scale his business? How do we, work with manufacturers to try and standardize some kind of training that then they can also offer, those types of things. And then how do we, even one step further than that, how do we create something to where those standards and those trainings lead into something as far as a requirement for our business?
Yeah.
Licensing requirements or installer requirements or whatever that means down the road.
Well, I have something I want to say, but I'm going to wait till we go off here.
Okay, we'll tell everybody what it
That's
was.
gonna drive everybody crazy. I'm gonna get text message. Would you tell them? What was it? What was it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is super helpful. Thank you so much. Again, I think we do this again in another 2 months or whatever, because I'll be, well, it'll be April. So we'll just do the
Yeah.
live. You guys can come on. You both are going to be there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great. We'll have y'all on the show there. We'll stream it live on like YouTube and Facebook, and then we'll also post it on our normal podcast. And so we'll do that. I'm just going to have like really good internet. So if we have that, we should be good to rock and roll. Anything else you guys want to add before we cut off? Tamara, anything?
No, I just appreciate you guys. Thank you for being on today.
Thanks for having us back.
Thanks for having us back. Yeah, it worked out once, so try number 2.
I'm thrilled about the progress, and just want to say thank you, Brenton, for everything you've done during your term. Tell your wife thank you from the whole industry. I guess I can speak for the industry in this case, because we can definitely see a difference from before you and after you, and so we're very grateful for your. You probably didn't get paid or paid a lot to do this, so
Thank you, and I got paid a big fat zero. It was all goodness of my heart, right?
So, but you know what, dude, you created a legacy with a lot of people that so it's not gone unnoticed. And all of our listeners, if you're out there, you appreciate what Brenton's done, give him a shout out, let him know, because it's enough that we hear all the complaints in the world and the haters, but we don't hear all the good things enough. So just hit Brenton up, tell him how much you appreciate him. If you're going to Louisville, pull him aside, buy him a free drink, get him drunk, get him on the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. And then Amy, again, like from my first impression, you were really sharp, and I really appreciate you coming in with a purpose and really wanting to make a difference. And so thank you as well, because I'm feeling it from our side and kind of hearing things, and I'm really excited about the direction things are going.
Well, thank you for having and trusting me to come back. Look forward to working with you in the future.
Awesome. And then we're going to cut this off, and I'm going to ask my question. No, thank you guys for following along. We appreciate you. If you need to reach out, hit me up on Facebook. Make sure you're following along on Facebook, Torsion Talk Podcast. Also, check out G2U, Garage Door U on Facebook. We're posting some really good stuff that we're going through in our group. So when we have a group meeting, Tamara will pull out like one of the cool topics that we talk about and post it. And there's like a whole little discussion that happens below there. But great information. Make sure you check that out. And then make sure you subscribe to the podcast as well. Thank you. Be safe and stay warm.